The first blow, when arrogance turned to fire. The galaxy was no stranger to cruelty. Empires rose and fell, and each new conqueror believed themselves the final word in dominion. When the Corthan dominion struck, it was not with hesitation, but with cold arrogance. They descended upon New Geneva, a thriving human colony at the edge of neutral space. The Corthans claimed they were teaching humanity their proper station. They came not to negotiate, not to warn, but to butcher. Orbital fire turned oceans to boiling mist. Towers of steel and glass melted into black slag. Civilians, farmers, engineers, children were herded into squares where they were broadcast across galactic channels before being executed. The Corthan commander, General Vethrak, declared with a sneer, "Let this be known. Humanity is no power. They are pests with delusions of empire. Their screams will echo only in their ruined worlds." The stars watched, the galaxy listened, and many laughed. The laughter of predators. The Corthans were not alone in their mockery. Rival empires, trading guilds, even so-called allies, whispered that Earth's time was over before it had truly begun. The galactic feeds replayed the massacre again and again. Commentators ridiculed humans as fragile, over-civilized creatures, too sentimental, too bound to ideals of law and mercy to survive in the void. "Humans build pretty ships," one alien pundit chuckled, "but when war calls, they hide behind treaties." The Corthans drank toasts to their lesson. On war barges, soldiers sang songs of howling humans. On capital worlds, elites placed wagers on how long Earth would last before begging for surrender. No one noticed the silence from Earth itself. Not the humans who vanished from trade hubs, not the colonies that cut transmissions, not the diplomats who stopped sending pleas. They thought humanity broken. They thought wrong. The mechanic in the ship of ashes. On a forgotten station orbiting a dim, red star, a human named Jonas Hale walked through scrap yards. He was not a general, nor a diplomat. He was a mechanic, grizzled, quiet, grease always staining his hands. Among mountains of discarded hulls, one relic caught his eye, a shattered cruiser, half its spine torn open, its plating rusted black. Its registry plates were long burned off, but in its cracked bones Jonas saw something the others missed. When asked what he paid, Jonas flipped half a credit onto the counter. The scrapyard master laughed in his face. "Half a credit for a corpse of a ship? You're mad." Mad or not, Jonas dragged it into a hangar. For weeks, then months, he worked. Welding, patching, splicing wires. He whispered to it like an old friend. This ship had been discarded just like him. But in its broken hull lay secrets. Forgotten Terran designs, algorithms buried in core memory, engines that once bent physics until it screamed. And when the last system came online, its heart thundered back to life. The ship whispered its name, Resolute. Silence breaks, Earth answers. The galaxy barely noticed when Earth fleets stopped their usual patrols. They did not see the dreadnoughts leave hidden shipyards. They did not track the awakening of ancient defense grids, buried since the First Solar War. But they felt it when human channels lit up, not with pleas but with warnings. Cold, measured, merciless warnings. To those who struck New Geneva, your debt is marked. To those who laughed, your silence will not save you. Earth remembers, Earth rises. The Corthan Dominion scoffed, at first. But then human fleets began moving in silence, erasing entire Corthan outposts without a trace. Black-hulled dreadnoughts emerged from warp, unleashing storms of rail fire that tore through moons. Colonies once thought untouchable fell in hours. And at the front of it all, against reason and probability, flew Resolute, Jonas Hale's half-credit junk ship. For what Jonas had awakened was not just steel. It was the last prototype of Earth's singularity engines, a ship once thought too dangerous to exist. It bent reality when it leapt. It turned battlefields into glass when it fired. The day suns went dark. The Corthans rallied, their fleets numbering in the thousands. They gathered around their fortress world, a planet wrapped in orbital cannons and shield grids that had never fallen in 5 centuries. They laughed again, mocking Earth for sending a patchwork fleet and a single rusted relic. Then the humans arrived. The sky turned black with Terran dreadnoughts. Carriers the size of cities deployed legions of armored soldiers who dropped like meteors, and at the center, resolute Tor opened the fabric of space itself. Its singularity engine howled, and stars dimmed as it drank their light. Corthan cannons fired oceans of plasma. Human shields absorbed, bent, redirected. Then came the answer. Missiles that split into 1,000 blades. Cannons that shattered fleets with single salvos. Armored marines who fought like storms incarnate. Every Corthan stronghold burned. Their proud fortress world cracked, plates splitting like eggshell under Terran bombardment. In a single day, a war of empires ended. Retribution without mercy. Survivors of the Corthan fleet begged for quarter. They tried to broadcast surrender. But humanity had gone silent too long. Now their answer was fire. Every Corthan fleet burned. Every world complicit in the slaughter of New Geneva was scoured. Jonas Hale watched from the bridge of Resolute, his face lit by the glow of dying stars. He was no admiral, no warlord, just a mechanic who had found a ship that remembered humanity's fury. And together, they made the galaxy tremble. The galaxy's laughter died in its throat. What once mocked now whispered. What once scorned now feared. The whisper in the aftermath. When it ended, silence reigned. The ruins of the Corthan dominion floated in space, fleets shattered, worlds burning, their proud empire reduced to a memory in ashes. The other empires, once so quick to laugh, now locked their borders and extinguished their feeds. They whispered in fear. Never provoke Earth again. Never strike a human colony. Never touch their children, for their patience is vast, but their vengeance is infinite. And in forgotten hangars, alien scavengers still whisper of the mechanic who paid half a credit for junk, of the ship that should never have flown again, of the day a relic saved humanity and damned the galaxy to fear them forever. For when Earth rises, it does not rise halfway. It rises with silence and answers with annihilation. Closing words, the debt that never forgets. In the centuries that followed, the Corthan ruins remained untouched. No empire dared scavenge them. No pirate dared trespass. Because written in scorched stone, in the ruins of their capital, was a single human message carved by orbital fire. This is the price of arrogance. Remember New Geneva. And they did. The galaxy remembered always.